Welcome to the Fit Vegan podcast, the show where we help you optimize your health, fitness, and mindset on a whole food, plant-based lifestyle. My name is Maxime. I am a former triathlete, powerlifter, bodybuilder, and basketball player. And I've been vegan for 9 years. I've also been able to coach over 350 vegans. All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fit Vegan podcast. We have a very special guest. We have my cousin, Daniel, with us. Daniel, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And you?
Good. I'm excited to have you on the podcast. For you guys that didn't know, Daniel is, yes, my cousin. He's been in the program for even 4 months now, right?
Exactly.
And how many pounds have you lost so far?
26 pounds.
And I think it's like, was it 6.5 inches off your waist?
6.5, exactly.
Nice. Well, so yeah, today I want to basically chat with you and see kind of like what was your story before, what have you tried, what got you here, and kind of what your experience was like.
Perfect.
Awesome. So I always like to ask people before we get started, what do you do for a living and what is your schedule like? Because a lot of people think that once they start the transformation program, like they have nothing else going on in their life, they don't have any other obligations. So it's really easy for them to like meal prep and eat healthy and work out. So you obviously have other things going on. So do you mind kind of sharing like what do you do for a living and what does your schedule look like?
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm a busy man. I'm a general manager for a nonprofit organization, so it means that I work a lot. Normally, I work around 50 hours a week, but I have a lot of vacations, so that's good in the summertime. But
Yeah.
I also have a busy life. I live in the countryside, so I like a lot of outdoors, kayak, paddleboard, just chilling on the lake. And I don't have any children. I don't have any girlfriends. So on that side, I'm maybe less busy than others. But I still have a lot of around my house. I work on my house, so my weekends are pretty filled. But I still have the time to train, to meal prep, and be focused on the fit vegan process.
Awesome. So what got you to want to start this process? Because obviously like you've been seeing me post about it for like a few years now. What was it that you're like, I need to do this?
Well, at first, even before thinking of becoming vegan, because vegan was also new, I became vegan with Fit Vegan, or I
Yeah.
started maybe a couple of weeks before, but on my own. But I wasn't vegan. I was thinking about it. I always, tried it a little bit. I have a lot of friends that are vegan or have been vegan, so it was something that I knew about. But I tried a lot of different things to have a good life, have a good health life. I tried things like Old 30. It's a program that you see what works for you and not. It's good, but on the long term, it's not good. And you eat a lot of meat in that program. And for me, it wasn't something that I was used to. So I
Hmm.
didn't feel really good in my stomach after like a year. So I didn't really like it. I tried also keto, but again, too much meat for myself. So, and I started to get a couple of pounds extra because I stopped smoking 2 years ago. So I wasn't feeling in shape, even if I was running a lot. I was running about 40K a week. I was training,
Wow.
but I wasn't doing the good stuff. So then I was looking at your podcast, at your different things that you were putting on Facebook, and I said, you know what, let's do this. So I decided that I was ready to become vegan at first, and I let myself with you as a coach and trying that beautiful and amazing journey that I'm doing right now.
Awesome. So you mentioned a few times that like some of the programs you've tried made you eat a lot of meat and it wasn't resonating with you. Was it more of like an ethical thing, or was it more of like how it made you feel, or it just that it felt weird to have to eat like all this meat to trying to be like fitter?
Well, for me, it wasn't ethical. It was really how I felt. And after a while, like not after a month or 2 months, but like just stomach ache,
Hmm.
headaches. Uh, it's something that I didn't have before, and with all that meat and a lot of eggs, and I wasn't feeling good. And the idea of eating well was that I wanted to feel good. So I wasn't I wasn't having what I was searching for.
Yeah. And so I think you mentioned also when you first started, like you were having some gut issues before you
Yeah,
came in, some digestion. Was that from that time, or is that unrelated?
yeah. It was with that time. Yeah.
Okay. And how has that been? How is that now versus when since you
It, it,
started
it,
basically?
it stopped after 2 weeks on Fit Vegan.
Nice. Good. Yeah, gut microbiome.
Completely finished.
Yeah, your gut microbiome adapts like fairly quickly. 2 weeks is fairly quickly in terms of like overall timeline of the journey. So well, I'm happy that got away because I had the exact same thing when I went from like my bodybuilder days to going vegan. Same thing.
Yeah.
Just took a while, but the gut was finally okay with it. Yeah. So was there any like fears or apprehensions before starting the program? Normally I ask people if they've ever worked with someone online, but we're family, so I know you know me and you trust me. So was there any fear and apprehensions of like starting the process and how things would take place?
uh, yeah. First, I was wondering, if I would like just, like eating plant-based at first, like on the long term.
Yeah.
I was afraid, I don't know, after 3 or 4 months, I'm like tired of being vegan. So being in the process, but no, absolutely not. It's really great and I love it. But I would say for the training part, I was really easygoing. Like I was open to train a lot. And
Hmm.
finally, I think that I don't train that much, and it's not
Yeah.
that much. It's easy going. Well, for now, I'm on 4 months. I don't know what's going on, what's going to happen for the next 2 months or 3 months. But for now, for me, is I focus on the present moment to just do my things. The really with a good tempo, well done, and for the rest I wasn't really stressed about that. It was more about being vegan, but finally everything got into places and it's perfect.
Good. So you like the recipes that you're eating?
Recipes are amazing, and honestly, like there's a couple that I maybe don't prefer, but I check my calories. Sometimes I switch a couple of things, and I check with you. Like mushrooms, I don't like mushrooms in life, so I don't eat
Yeah.
mushrooms. That I'll put cauliflower. It's easy for that, but in general, I would say for maybe 95%, I really love the food. It's really tasty. I I I always like when I'm ready to eat like my snack before lunch. I feel that I am hungry and I'm ready for that. So I don't feel like I'm stuffing myself, but I'm eating well, so I feel good, and
Yeah.
the feeling is really great. Every day it's really great. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, hunger is a little bit. You're at the end of the cut. You're like we're lower in calories right now. So yeah, you definitely definitely feeling it a bit more. Um, so so you mentioned you're running 40 kilometers a week before, and now you feel like you're doing less basically, right?
But before because coming to Fit Vegan, I stopped running because I was having a little issue with my ankle.
Yeah.
Uh, it still hurts a little bit sometimes, so I decided to do a little bit more. bicycle, and it helps a little bit. It's less hard on my ankle and on my knees, but that's a personal choice.
Yeah.
But I do my cycling as what you asked me in the program. I don't do more. I do exactly what I have to do with my cycling, and it's perfect. And I have a result. That's the beauty about that. It's not just the cardio, but it's also, the way that we train. We train with bands and everything. Uh, it's amazing. It's not that hard. It works the body really well, and you see cuts, and in arms and legs and everything. It's amazing to see and to watch. But I'm not there with a lot of weights and like before, like pushing and pushing and bench press and bench press 120 pounds. I don't do that at all. That's the beauty of it, is that
Yeah.
it's everything is really simple, and we're not pushing too much the body, but the body is responding really well. That's the part that I love.
Yeah. So trusting the process, we're being efficient with your time and your effort. And the nutrition is doing the big part, right? In terms of like
Yeah.
you losing body fat and then building some muscle and changing your body composition. So I'm curious, obviously went vegan to be in the program, which was the biggest fear. What helped you get some quick wins when you first got started? What were the things that like help you get like build some quick momentum?
Oh my God. I would say, just having the menu all prepared. That was amazing. It's a huge part that you don't have to focus at first in the first couple of weeks, because there's, like you said, there's a little bit of stress and wondering what's going to happen, what will be the process, and finally, the process is amazing. But at first, I was wondering all these questions, and I would say also the list for grocery. That's amazing. You arrive in the grocery store, you have your list, you know what you need to do, and that for me really helped me to focus on the training and other things, and don't stress about the food. And finally, the wins start because uh, my first week I lost 2 pounds. Second week I lost another 2 pounds, and they were, I don't know if you remember, I wasn't doing any cardio back back at that time. No cardio, zero cardio, just food and a little bit of training. And I wasn't walking enough. I was walking around 3,500 a day, and we pushed that to 10,000. Right now, I'm always over 10,000. So
Yeah.
that like I'm talking in the first month, that push, another pound or two a week. So finally, after a month, I lost 10 pounds, and I started, for me, where I started to feel really good and really
Yeah.
confident. So after that, just rolled. And
Yeah.
26 pounds later, we're there talking about it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And still crushing it. Um,
Yeah.
so, so I'm curious. So what I remember your steps were really low when you first got started. So I'm
Yes.
I'm curious what had to change in terms of behavior and habits that you had when you first got started to now, right? So like increasing steps was one of them. You probably had to structure your day a little bit differently to be
Yeah.
able to do that. But was there any other thing that you had to like fundamentally shift in terms of like habits and lifestyle?
Well, um, yeah. Let's say cutting things like Netflix and all that shit. It's okay to have a little bit, but I I cut it like definitely, just pushing myself to go for a walk. I started to walk at first after lunch at my work and after dinner, so that
Mhm.
that started to help. I was already doing some hikes, so that was always helping my feet around the weekend. But during the week, I started to walk very early in the morning. Starting with the sun and feeling
Mhm.
the good vibe, and starting
Mhm.
just a little walk. Like 1,000 feet. just before eating and everything. So just putting that those three times that I'm guaranteed that I'm gonna go walk. So that's easy, maybe 6,000 feet. So after
Okay.
that, just pushing, at work, like I work in a big building, so I go at the washroom the longest way ever.
Yeah.
So just pushing, just putting that and walking more with everything that I do. So it just helped and became just normal after a while.
Yeah. What's a good tactic? Picking the furthest bathroom from your office to get extra steps. I've never thought about that one before. Have Did anything need to shift in terms of nutritional habits? Like were you meal prepping before? Were you kind of being more conscious? Like how did that have to shift for you?
Uh, Not that much because I was doing a lot of meal preps. I always made a lot of my food like for lunch and dinners on the Sunday. Normally not all week, but a couple of days. So
Yeah.
it just be that was all right. It was just the grocery was different because cutting meat for me, like I was wondering, no, I
What am
was
I gonna
worrying
buy?
like the freaking protein, what I'm gonna
Yeah.
eat, will I be okay? But finally, just buying new stuff and I bought some some pots to put everything in and being organized in my kitchen. So it took me maybe 2 months to be organized and being that for me for the prep to be easygoing also, having everything really close. And
Yeah.
then after that, just became normal. I'll be honest, in general, it took maybe a month and a half to 2 months to really feel like I'm in it, like I'm really in
Yeah.
it. Everything's going well, everything's rolling. But for the last 2 months, it's my life now. So,
Yeah. Well, that's great. Like that's the thing people don't think about when they start a transformation is we're like great, you want to lose weight and improve body composition, but there needs to be a fundamental shift in how you live because how you live brought you to where you are. And therefore, if we want to be somewhere else, we have to change how we live and how we do things. And, like a transition time is normal, which most people think that they're just going to start and it's all going to be perfect and smooth. Like if you never meal prep before, which you were meal prepping before, so it was helping. But for people that never meal prep before, like that's a rough transition, right? You need to figure out how to do that efficiently while you're in the kitchen, or else your kitchen is going to be a mess if you don't know how to do it. Um, you said two things that I want to point out. Like one thing was, I'm curious, how did the structure of your meals change? Right? Because obviously you said you're eating healthy before, you were preparing your food, and now that you were eating vegan, how did the composition and structure of your meals, like what was the difference?
well, for sure, no more meat. So that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I would say, and where I was maybe at first a little bit, how could I say, I wasn't ready like for the first. Right now, it's for sure my calories are really low. At first, I was at 2,400 calories. Um, there were a lot of food.
Hmm.
Uh, a lot of I remember the first plate I had of cauliflower was two cauliflower was two plates in the stove. It was a lot, and I was wondering how I'm going to eat that. But like the structure, it was just to look at the meal prep and at the recipe and just being open mind
Hmm.
because it was completely different and a lot more. Even if I was eating a lot of vegetables, it was a lot more
Hmm.
vegetable uh, for filling me for what I was used to, and
Yeah.
and just like eating like I remember black beans. I never had black beans in my life. I had red beans, but never. Just having like black beans and rice, and I was like, oh my god, it's a lot. It's a lot of food, But
That's really filling.
finally, it's really filling, but at the end, I was like, okay, like the way that I was looking at food before wasn't the same the same way, because before I knew that I eat meat, I'll be filled.
Hmm.
Now it was like more food, but it's plant-based, so it's different, and I feel different also. So it was more my mindset that I had to change, but it didn't take a lot of time. Like I said, maybe 2 weeks, and I started to understand where I was going with that.
Yeah. So that's actually my next question. Do you feel like you have a better understanding of how to feel yourself on a plant-based diet now, being 4 months in?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, like I know that my when we will do a reverse. I say we will because you'll help me for sure. But the
I'm going through it
reverse
right now.
dieting,
So
yeah, exactly. But like the reverse dieting, I know that I'll go back to more calories, but I understand that calories plant-based is really different than eating meat. So the way of thinking is really different. So now I know I understand more where I'm going with my life now, my new life.
yeah, yeah. So was the transition easier for you with the meal plan and us obviously making sure that you hit your protein, you're hitting all your micronutrients and macronutrients? Did it make the transition easier? Because a lot of people often ask me, I'm not vegan, but I want to do your program, but I need to transition into it. And that's basically what you did when you came in, right? I was like, I'm eating
Yeah.
meat and now you're eating this way. Did you find that transition easy with what we gave you? Did it make it like, oh, this is how you do things and you put it together and then you have a meal?
Yeah, the transition on that side was easy. Like I said, everything is prepared. You have your meal prep. You have all the recipe ready. You have pictures. For me, I'm visual, so I needed
Mhm.
pictures. So I understood what I was going to do. I'm not somebody that really was used to recipe before, and
Mhm.
now I would not live without it. So the recipe really helped me to push it more, and like I said before, to understand it
Yeah.
also. So yeah, no, it was perfect.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you have a favorite recipe that you've eaten so far? That's like you're like, oh man, I love this one.
Um, yeah, well, yeah, for
I know the
lunch because
banana one. I know the banana one's one of your favorite.
yeah, well, for snack, the banana one with the hemp seed and the almond butter is amazing. I really
Yeah.
love it. But I would say for lunch, and I had it today, is the tofu marinated in tamari. It's really simple. You marinate it for 20 minutes. You cook it on both sides on the pan, and you put it in a rice bread. I don't know how to call that, like a um,
Like a bed of rice, comme un bol avec du riz dedans.
non, 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 un genre de fajitas, mais c'est à base de riz. Je sais pas comment on appelle ça.
Oh, like a rice tortilla type.
Yeah, rice
Yeah,
tortilla,
okay.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So, sorry for the French.
Yeah,
And
we'll keep that in there. It's great. It's very authentic. We're both French, so
perfect, beautiful. And yeah, for sure. And put it with red cabbage, something that I wasn't eating before, that now I would not live without
Mhm.
it. Cucumbers, and I think little slice of carrot. And for me, that little sandwich, I love it. It's
Mhm.
simple, it's tasty. You taste all, the rice and the all the vegetable. It's perfect. But it's really, really easy going. So sometimes, like, I went on a road trip and camping a couple of weeks ago with a friend of mine that is also vegan, and I
Yeah.
prepared those sandwiches for us, and I was calculating my calories and everything, and I knew that that one is 316 calorie. I know it for sure. So I had everything prepared. I think I prepared like for 5 days of sandwich. It was great. So
Nice.
that's my favorite for me.
Yeah. Well, I love the level of discipline and dedication. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's over time, right? You have your favorite recipes, and then as you progress in the program, you can re-implement it whenever you need to and make those substitutions. Um, I'm curious. Obviously, it's only been 4 months, right? We still have like 2 more months of fat loss, and we're going to do a reverse diet after. But so far, is there something that you've learned or have achieved that was unexpected out of you wanting to do this?
Uh, my God. There's a lot, but I won't. I
Go
won't
for it.
say. Well, I'll start. But when I started, I don't know before how the program was, but when I started, maybe after a month, the coaches, all of you guys, decided to put a couple of things on top of that for a healthier life, on top of the recipe, on top of the training was a cold shower each day, 30 seconds around. You put also, well, for
Medit
sure, water also, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That was already there, but it was specified 2 to 4 liters of water. That's good for your feet also because you go pee more, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Get sepsis.
It helps. And you also put what else did you put? I don't remember.
Meditation and reading.
Meditation. Exactly. So for me, the meditation is something I've been doing for over 10 years, very seriously also. But with the training, I'll be honest, I pushed it really, really far because it really helps me to concentrate myself on the present moment when I train.
Mhm.
I block my mind on training. I don't hear all the little voices, the judgment, that I can have in front of me because I train in front of a mirror also. So like at first I didn't feel good. I felt a little bit fat. So I was just meditating a lot, and that
Yeah.
really helps me in the process. And remind me the question at first. I want to make
Uh,
sure to.
yeah, anyways, so what was something that you learned or achieved that was an unexpected surprise?
Well, the concentration when when I train with the meditation that helped, but really feeling like confident in it and being proud of it for me was really hard. So that's something that I really worked on because I really want the result and I really want to stick to that in my life for the rest of my life. So uh, winning that was a big win for me.
Yeah.
And the second, my God, well there's a lot, but being really well organized. I'm somebody that is organized, but sometimes all over the place also. So, and
Organized
I
chaos.
assume organized chaos. That's a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
organized chaos. And with the meal prep, and like I said, I work 50 hours a week. I work a lot. I'm building also a little company on the side. I have a lot of different projects. I'm coming back to what we were talking at first. I'm also making an art show, so I'm really busy. For me, with that on top and the training, and I knew that the training was becoming, growing with time. I said I cannot be chaotic. So I really organized, like I said, my kitchen. I organized my room with all, my training things that I needed. I bought everything that I needed, and I organized myself a life that is really different than I used to. And for that, it's also a big win because now everything is settled and I know when I wake up what I do and where I'm going to be. And if I have a big day that really shivers everything that I'm normally used to in my routine, well, I know I'm able to come back because I'm well organized. So that's my two big wins.
Yeah. So would you say that how you're living and doing things now with training and nutrition is something that is sustainable for you for, say, the rest of your life?
Absolutely.
Ah, well, that's fun to hear because that's the whole point is to get you to that place. Another question I always like to ask is, what's the best non-fitness benefit that you got from joining the community? Because I don't think you made a group call yet, right? I think you've been watching them in the replays.
I watched the group calls. The Friday one is because I work, so it's at two
Yeah,
o'clock on this side, so I can't. But I like the one of today. I'm gonna watch it tonight. That's my YouTube time,
yeah.
and it's a good one. I didn't do a call. I've been trying for the last 2 weeks, and every time I'm out on something or working too late. But I'm going to try for next week or the week after. But I do listen to the calls, and I love it. I love it. I learn a lot of things. And I would say that the tribe, what is beautiful about the tribe on the calls, but also on the message is you don't feel alone.
Mhm.
Like one time there were a girl, I won't say her name, but she was struggling, and she was like calling for help. And I talked to her, and a couple we talked to her, and she's kicking ass right now. And I'm seeing her, and I'm always proud to see her, like, building a confidence and everything, and working so hard. So, like, we're all there for each other, and even for the good wins, but also when we're struggling or we
Mhm.
just have questions. And like, I remember at first, I think I was writing to you 6 times a day. You're my
Yeah.
cousin, so it was okay, but still, but after a while, it was once a week and once a month. And now I don't write you no more. But
Yeah, just your check-ins, just your weekly check-ins.
just the check-ins, exactly. But like, I think what I like in the videos with everybody is, even if I didn't do a call like live, is that sometimes, like I told you a couple of weeks ago, I needed a good push.
Mhm.
I needed to push myself. I felt like I didn't lost a pound in 3 weeks. I had lost 25 pounds. So, I give
Yeah,
myself a break, but I was doing everything right, but no pounds. I was seeing my body change a lot, but I lost that week. Last week I lost 2.5 inch around my waist, so in 1 week, so that's a lot. So
yeah,
that helps, but I needed a little push, and I started to watch all the videos of the last couple of weeks. And finally, somebody said something, I don't remember who, but it really, she asked something that I was wondering myself. I don't remember the question exactly, but it really reminded me why I was in Fit Vegan. So finally, I pushed my training, I pushed everything. I was pushing, but I didn't feel that I was pushing that much. So it
yeah.
really helps. And finally, I lost a pound. So it's not the thing about just pounds losing, but I felt like I was back, on the process, and kicking ass. So it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it makes me happy to hear that. And thank you for being authentic with that, because a lot of people start, they expect it to be perfect. They expect to feel high and they're like, I'm crushing it the whole way through. But the reality is most people are with us for a year to a year and a half. You're gonna have downs, you're gonna have times where you don't want to work out. Life's gonna punch you in the face a few times throughout the time. Like, shit's gonna happen. And it's important to expect those things to come. And when they do come, like what you did is perfect. Fall back on the resources in the group, right? It's like a big family. Go in the tribe,
Yeah.
watch your group calls, jump on the group calls, talk to your coach. Like, that's when it becomes important, because it is bound to happen multiple times throughout everyone's program. So really happy that you did that, because that's what's make the biggest difference. And a big saying I have is consistency compounds, right?
Yeah.
If you show up at 1% for a workout, take you longer, but we can compound 1%. We can't compound 0%. So if you don't show up for nutrition and training, like, it just compounding stops. So showing up to the best of your ability, if that's 10%, it's 10. If it's 50, it's 50. If it's 100, it's 100. But it will always compound, right?
Yeah.
I remember what I was going to share earlier. You mentioned, like, your schedule is so busy, you have so much going on that you had to be really organized. And that's one thing that kind of the program kind of pushed you towards.
Yeah.
We found we're over 500 transformations of successful members that have been through the program now. Our most successful members are the ones that are busy, because you can't mess around, right? It's not like, oh, I don't want to do the workout now, I'll do it 2 hours later, and then it's 2 hours later, like, I'll just push it another 2 hours. If you have too much free time, there's a huge, it's the direct correlation with lack of discipline. And so when your schedule is busy, you're forced. It's workout time. It's workout time. Because if you don't do it, then it won't happen until the next day. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a good trait to have. Yeah.
And if I could add something, Max,
Yeah.
like at first I started to do my training after work, you know. I was
Mhm.
arriving at 5 o'clock and sometimes 6, so it was a little bit hard. And I was starting to be tired, hungry, and everything. So I changed everything. So now I get up earlier. I do my training in the morning, you know, like I give myself the time to, you know, stretch and, you know,
Mhm.
just
Warm
relax a little
up.
bit, warm up. Exactly. I do my animal warm up.
Yeah.
Even sometimes I do it a couple more just, you know, to feel that I'm in the mood. Helps my legs and everything. And it's perfect. And with that, I get, I yeah, I go to bed maybe a little bit earlier, but I feel in shape all day.
Mhm.
I feel on top of everything. And I don't stress that, my God, at 5 o'clock I need to train tonight, you know. Oh, I'm starting to be tired, it's noon, you know. I did my training. I already went for a walk, so I have that already done, you know. Like
Yeah.
I would say like checklist, having a checklist and doing it really like early, it really helps.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you sharing that, because if you think about it, when it's 5 o'clock, if you have your own business, or you have like a busy position, when it's 5, it doesn't always end at 5. Like, something comes up, you got to stay an hour later, and then your workout, instead of starting at 5:30, now it's 6:30, and then you're supposed to go to bed. You're just all wired up because you just worked out. Shifting to the morning, you just get it out of the way, right? And
Yeah.
if we think about it, yeah, you got to go to bed earlier, but what productive thing do you do at nighttime? I don't know for you, but Netflix, TikTok, Instagram, that's pretty much what happens in the evening to like nighttime. So might as well go to bed, get a good night of sleep, and then wake up and actually use your time productively, because there's nothing productive that happens like after 8 p.m.
No, absolutely. And at night, I do. Oh yeah, we forgot on the list there was reading 10 pages
Oh yeah.
uh, yeah, or a ebook and everything. So I do my reading at night, so I'm more concentrated and more, you know, relaxed and tired. So I do my reading at night. So everything is, you know, the checklist is done, everything is done. So less time for TikTok and all those things that are not used to, you know, just not that good. So it's fun, but you know, not all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, the only reason you should be on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube is to watch my content. Besides that, you shouldn't be on it. You should you should do other things and to listen to the podcast.
exactly, exactly.
Um, so Daniel, I want to ask you, if there's someone that's listening that is, connecting to your story and is in the same shoes that you were in before, right? Like you mentioned, like, and your situation of how you started is actually a common story that we see. Like, you're eating healthy before, right? You were running 40 kilometers, which is, how much is 40 kilometers? So like 21 miles, 22 miles, about 21
About
miles
yeah.
a week. Eating healthy, you're running, being active, living a healthy lifestyle, but the weight wasn't shifting and the way you're doing things wasn't making you feel your best. If you had
Yeah.
the opportunity to talk to this person, or basically Daniel from before, and they're on the fence from taking action and doing this, what would you share with them?
I would say at first, and I've been saying it for a while now, believe the process. Don't worry, don't think too much. Just go for it. Just, you know, write to Maxim, just write. Start with that, make a contact. And after that, everything's going to be in place and everything's going to be all right. Because you're not going to do everything in one day. Like you said, it's a transformation for over a year. So
Hmm.
start by doing a contact, and don't think too much. And it's going to be all right.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying that. Trusting the process is a big part.
Yeah,
So a lot of people want to come into the program and do their own thing. I'm like, why do you want to be in the program? We have a process that works over 500 times. So I appreciate you
exactly.
trusting it, and that's why you're down 26 pounds and you lost 6.5 inches around your waist, right? It's just common sense, right? You follow it and then you get the results. Um, Awesome. Well, Daniel, I want to say a massive thank you for taking the time to jump on the podcast. I know it's later for you. You're like 3 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Any last words that you'd like to share with the listeners or the members of the tribe that would be listening?
Well, I would say for everyone that is in the process, will continue, you know, kicking ass. Here you go. And for the others, well, why not join? Why not? If your lifestyle is not working right now, don't question yourself. Just come on in, and the result will be there. And the beauty about the program, and you feel it after a couple of months, is that it stays and you continue to feel good. You
Mhm.
continue to, and there's a couple of people that I saw that, went a little bit out of the program, they came back, but they still work hard and the result are staying. So why not try?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, so for those of you guys that want to try, there's a link down below in the show notes. If you're on YouTube or podcast or Spotify or Apple, there's a link where you can apply for coaching. Just fill out a few questions. You book your free call with one of our Fit Vegan goal setting coaches, and then love to chat with you about your goals, what's happening, where you want to go, how things can potentially change. And if like Daniel, you're wanting to transition to veganism, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. We make it really smooth and easy for you. And be sure to give the podcast a 5-star review. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the Friday podcast. Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome.